The Crimea Campaign was an 8-month-long campaign by Axis forces to conquer the Crimea Peninsula, and was the scene of some of the bloodiest battles on the Eastern Front during World War II. The German, Romanian, and defending Soviet troops suffered heavy casualties as the Axis forces tried to advance through the Isthmus of Perekop, linking the Crimean Peninsula to the mainland, Perekop. From summer of 1941 through to the first half of 1942. From the 26th of September 1941, the German 11th Army and troops from the Romanian 3rd Army and 4th Army were involved in the fighting, opposed by the Red Army's 51st Army and elements of the Black Sea Fleet. After the campaign, the peninsula was occupied by Army Group A with the 17th Army as its major subordinate formation. Once the Axis broke through, they occupied most of Crimea, with the exception of the city of Sevastopol, which was given the title of Hero City for its resistance, and Kerch, which was recaptured by the Soviets during an amphibious operation near the end of 1941 and then taken once again by the Germans during Operation Busted Hunt on the 8th of May. The siege of Sevastopol lasted 250 days from the 30th of October 1941 until the 4th of July 1942, when the Axis finally captured the city. Sevastopol, the main object of the campaign, was surrounded by German forces and assaulted on the 30th of October 1941. German troops were repulsed by a Soviet counterattack. Later, many troops evacuated from Odessa contributed to the defense of Sevastopol. The Germans then began an encirclement of the city. Other attacks on the 11th of November and the 30th of November in the eastern and southern sections of the city failed. German forces were then reinforced by several artillery regiments, one of which included the railway gun Schwerer Gustav. Another attack on the 17th of December was repulsed at the last moment with the help of reinforcements, and Soviet troops landed on the Kerch Peninsula the day after Christmas to relieve Sevastopol. The Soviet forces remained on the peninsula until the 9th of April German counterattack. They held on for another month before being eliminated on the 18th of May. With the distraction removed, German forces renewed their assault on Sevastopol, penetrating the inner defensive lines on the 29th of June. Soviet commanders had been flown out or evacuated by submarine towards the end of the siege, and the city surrendered on the 4th of July 1942. Although some Soviet troops held out in caves outside of the city until the 9th. In 1944, the Crimea was recaptured by troops of the 4th Ukrainian Front during the Crimean Offensive and its three sub-operations: Kerch-Eltigen Operation, Perekop-Sevastopol Offensive Operation, Kerch-Sevastopol Offensive Operation. Bibliography. Literature. Bishop, Chris. The Military Atlas of World War II. Igloo Books, London, 2005. ISBN 1-90468753-9. http www.soldat.ru/spray-uka/1-ssr-3.html. Dudrenko M. L. Perichnev U. G. Yeliseyev V. T. A. L. Reference Guide. Liberation of Cities. Reference for Liberation of Cities during the period of the Great Patriotic War 1941–1945. Moscow, 1985. Keegan, John. The Times Atlas of the Second World War. Crescent Books, New York. External links. Manstein's Romanians in the Crimea.